Hey everyone, welcome to Trail Talk Live on another Friday. I am Aaron Shimons, and this is my partner in crime, Ricky Wynn, in the little slightly darker room. How's it going, Ricky? You okay?
I'm okay. Yeah, actually, I thought this was a pretty bright room, but slightly darker, slightly
It's
darker.
the lights behind you. I've got my halo on, you see, so hard to beat it. Thanks everyone for joining. Uh, this is our weekly show. We're going to dig into the news, the gossip, the banter, and some of the stuff that's just been going on in the world of ultra trail. Drop a comment down below. Let us know where you're joining from, and if you've any questions, throw them down there too, and we will tackle them as and when we see them. So, Ricky, first up, I wanted to touch on. Let me get this right. Ultra Trail Kosciuszko.
Kosciuszko, I call
Kosciuszko.
him that. Yeah.
It's Polish word, but it's the name of a mountain in Australia. So Ultra Trail Kosciuszko by UTMB. Uh, and really the thing that whenever I saw about this race, the takeaway that I got from it was nobody from Oceania won the races. So Sabrina Stanley was third overall and first female in the miler, and that's 160 is 161k and 5,000 meters of vert. So on the more runnable side as well, not probably not the type of stat that I would look for in a race. And then Abbey Hall was first in the 100k. I think that was down lower towards like 3,000 meters of vert. So interesting that a couple of American athletes have gone all the way to Australia, obviously won their races, and got to be with the idea of just stamping a ticket for the UTMB finale. What did you take about that?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I was actually thinking about this earlier on today because that's how you do it. If you want to get an automatic place into UTMB, you've got to probably like podium in one of these races. There's X amount of races now, so there's a lot more chances to podium, to win, to do really well in these races. So I think strategically, good athletes are finding races that are less competitive just so that they get straight back into UTMB, CCC, OCC. Look, nothing wrong with it. I do it myself because that's kind of what I'd be looking at now as well. I kind of going, well, like there's another race over in Malaysia, or there's another one over in, so somewhere further away. It's not going to have a hugely stacked field, so there's a good opportunity for me to place well and get straight back to Sham.
Yeah, totally. That's exactly what they're at, and we'll come on to another race in a minute. But like a couple of takeaways I was thinking was the whole point of the World Series. Sorry, not the whole point, but one of the points of the World Series that was marketed to us as the consumer, as the environmentally conscious consumers, was this is going to mean you're not going to have to fly as far away to qualify because there's going to be qualifiers in your region, and that's okay, well, we'll make an exemption for the elite athletes. Okay, great. We've made an exemption for them. But what about the people from that region? Because the person that was fourth in the miler and fourth in the 100k isn't going to UTMB finale now. What do you think of that?
Yeah, yeah. It's for those like domestic athletes, that's got to be super annoying, right? It's got to be hugely annoying. Like I see it in other races, even here in Ireland and places like that, where I sign up to a race and I think I'm going to do really well in it, and I could win it, and then all of a sudden this phenomenal runner from the UK or from Spain or from Austria or somewhere like this turns up, and they go and rip a hole in the record, you know what I mean? You don't take the win. And it's exactly the same over here. It's like domestically that those women and those men are coming fourth and fifth, and now they're missing out on a chance to go to Chamonix, where they would have been nearly setting themselves up for Chamonix by signing up for that race, saying I could do really well, I've trained really well. And then lo and behold, Abbey Hall comes over and kicks everyone's ass. Like, it's cruel. It's
Taking
cruel.
names, taking names. But it definitely is cruel. I feel sorry for those runners from that area because now they're going to have to fly somewhere because they're obviously competing at that and looking to go to the finale. Everyone wants to go to UTMB finale, especially if you're going to buy UTMB events. It's a no-brainer. Like the things goes hand in hand. So I feel a bit sorry for those athletes. We've seen it for a few years now. The odd, oh, look at the elites lining up in duathlon in Thailand. That used to never see a Thai runner near the front there, because it was, everyone was going to stamp their ticket in December. A full, like, the furthest time away from the finale. So yeah, it's an interesting one, but I guess on the flip side of that, just to give it two perspectives, it is helping to promote those events. It is helping to promote that region. And you and I are talking about this race. The viewers are hearing about this race and having another perspective on the race. And you know, I've signed up for Ultra Trail Australia in May. It's in Australia. It's a different UTMB race, but still, it's there's positive and negative from it. But not buying the I'm not buying the environmental positivity of the regional races too much more. And then next on the agenda, kicking off in the morning, Chiang Mai by UTMB. The Is it the third naming of this event now? It's been through the ringer. We'll concentrate on the men's field because that's really where the depth is. And ever since August, we keep seeing these redemption runs. Everyone at DNF in Chamonix is coming back for another ticket. So favorite, obviously, Quadzilla, Dmitry Medvedev, and a host of others. But what's your thoughts on that event?
Again, redemption, right? So it's Terex are at it again. They're sending two of their elites that haven't had the best of times lately in the men and the women's field, and they're sending them there for redemption. So Dimitri's obviously looking for the win, and Ekaterina's looking for the win. I might have said her name wrong, but I think I said it with confidence. You say it with confidence. So the two of them, two Terex athletes, two legit athletes, but two people that haven't had the best run of it just lately. So again, that's always a tricky one. When you're going in like that, you're going in with a lot of emotion. You're going in pumped up, but it mightn't be pumped up on the positive side. You kind of pumped up on a negative, and you're bringing that with you. And if anything does start to go wrong, then it's doubt. Doubt creeps in, and like, well, maybe I wasn't fit enough, or maybe I wasn't over that little niggle that I got in that last race that I had to DNF. And what do you know? There's another DNF. What I am excited about is Luke Grenfell-Shaw. I'm a big fan of him. He kicked my ass about 2 years ago in the Eco Trail. I broke the actual course record, and he beat me by about 45 minutes. So he blew the doors off. So
That must have been hard for you to say. Yeah, I had to been like, it's taken you years to actually verbalize that, hasn't it?
yeah, but look, I'll never shy away from saying somebody had a fantastic race, or they're a phenomenal athlete. I take my hat off to him, because he wasn't a pro then and he's a pro now, and like that's the dream, right? He's a pro Brooks runner now. He's done really well. He's had a very good finish at CCC, not this year, I think, but the year before, I think he was eighth. I think he was eighth, yeah, and a phenomenal time, around 11 hours. So I'm very excited about him. It's great to see. He's a brilliant backstory, cancer survivor, and it's just very cool, very positive kind of guy. And I'm excited to see him race well there.
So just on Luke, a CCC DNFer from this year, and the previous year he had a good CCC. And interestingly, he's in China right now.
Mm.
I don't know why, but he was fourth at the Ultra Trail Ninghao in middle of October, and that's another big UTMB event in China. Do you know any of the backstory about why he would be there?
His whole thing is like where he cycled from Bristol to Beijing, something like this, right? From where he's from in the UK over to Beijing, and he's doing something to promote that, or promote a book or something like that. And he's over there. He's spending a lot of time over there, so that's why he's over there. I think I'm not 100%, but I think that's why he's over there right now. And the thing about Luke, is Luke doesn't seem to care if he DNFs. He just goes out hard all the time. If the wheels come off, they come off, and then he'll just sign up for another one. He'll do it again, and he'll do it again. He's not afraid to DNF. He's not afraid to push the boat out, and he's not afraid to race hard. So it's going to be fun watching him and Dimitri. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think that is the race. We've also got Danny Young, the ultra runner now, and um, he was signed up for the Mallorca UTMB race, and obviously that was hit with the bad weather. So this might be um, another attempt to close out the season with a performance. And he also won the Cat 100 in August. So he has had some good relevant form quite recently, whereas he kind of had maybe a quieter 2023 after that Diagonal Defu and Hard Rock years where he was, he kind of burst onto the scene. We're like, who's this guy? This guy's good.
Yeah.
So I think the race is going to be those three guys and I would probably be picking Dimitri to win and Luke to be racing them hard.
Yeah, yeah, same, same. But isn't it a funny one? Like racing this late in the year to try and get back to like look, I'm guessing it's all to do with getting back to CCC, getting back to UTMB, getting back to OCC, whichever race you want to get back to. But it's so late in the season, and if something does go wrong and you do pull up with a big injury or something happens to you, it really wrecks the start of your next season. Like, it's a risk, but I suppose it's a risk reward kind of a thing. So, I always think these late races are interesting. You just never know what's going to happen. You never know.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I'll be tuning into some of that, and hopefully we get some good live stream. Next thing I wanted to touch on, we've heard about Freetrail's Trail Runner of the Year and the less popular, less roll off the tongue TPOY Trail Performance of the Year. I want to talk about that a little bit because I think that's more interesting. You lead us off with this one. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I like the trail runner of the year or ultra trail runner of the year or whatever it is. I'm not a fan of that because a lot of the time it's America based. It's there's a lot of bias towards the American athletes, and it's hard to pick. It's hard to pick one like ultra trail runner or trail runner in when there's so many different variables in ultra run, right? There's 100 milers, there's 100Ks, they're totally different races. So I do like that performance of the year. I do think it's interesting, but I do think it's very hard to pick your top five. It's very hard to pick your top five, let alone your top one. But what do you want to do? Do you want me to tell you what my top five is in the women's and the
I,
men's?
Before you say anything, I actually want Chrissy in the chat to let us know what TPOY stands for in that perverted mind, because I have no idea how that's a sexy acronym for something. So I'm totally lost on that one. Look, I'll go first. I looked through the list. It's super difficult to pick based on, we're trail is the bucket, but you've got VK, you've got ultra, you've got, middle distance, whatever. So I like to put on my like personal parameters to it. So I like discount or try to discount most of the things that aren't a course record. So that like moves some of them out of the thing. And then you've got, is it a prestigious race or not? So like a prestigious race is more important than a not such a prestigious race. But then you get to the fact that, well, what if it's prestigious nationally against another race in Europe or something? So like look at JFK 50. It's
Mm.
half road, half trail. It's okay. We'll call it mostly a trail race, but it's not. It's got prestige because in the American national market, but we don't really think of it often like as a race. And then you put it up against something like Sierra Zinal
Mm.
that everyone wants to race. So, like, Rachel Drake's performance at JFK 50 was outstanding. 10th overall, first woman under 6 hours or something like this. But then it's not a globally prestigious race. How would you balance that in your head?
Yeah, it's the same, and like I looked at all the names in that kind of vein as well. We'd say where it has to be to us over here in Europe. I think like Sierra Zanal or Zagama or any of those races, they have so much prestige behind them, and maybe they have that much prestige behind JFK or something like that in America, but it doesn't come across for us. It's more, it doesn't grab our attention as much as something like Sierra Zanal, as something like the Golden Trail Series or something like UTMB or something like CCC. It doesn't grab us like that. So I I never want to undervalue it or say it's not good, because look, like one of the coolest things I've ever watched on YouTube was Zach Miller, you know what I mean, racing at JFK, and it was an unbelievable story, and there's savage history to that race and everything like that. But I still don't think it's up there with some of the big races, and for that reason, winning that isn't the same as winning Sears and Al. Like,
Yeah, totally. Look, we're not coming at this from a position of throwing any shade on it. I would
yeah,
love it if that JFK race had Kenyan athletes and the runners who are running Sierra the depth of competition that you might see at Sierra Zanal, which is trail and road runners combined. So I think that's more where you're coming from. We certainly share that opinion. But then, like, moving over to the men's side, we'll go deeper on this in a different show. But moving over onto the men's side, so I've stuck a draft. I do like a draft pick, run through it. I like to like stew over it for a while, and the draft pick I dropped in on the men's side, and I got to the bottom, and I was like, I haven't put in Vinny. Haven't Vinny B isn't in my top five because it wasn't a course record, so it wasn't highlighted. So there's another example of, oh, well, that's definitely a standout. That's like the breakout performance of the decade.
mm,
So that kind of has to be in. But then when I'm thinking about, well, who would I take out of my top five to put Vincent Bulliard into there? Oh, do I drop out Finlay Wild's course record at Trophy Okema against the best sky runners in the world, or do I take out um, Ludovic Pomeroy, his
yeah.
course record at Hard Rock, because Hard Rock's maybe not doesn't have the depth of competition? Who the hell knows? How would you square that?
Yeah, but another one that keeps like that I keep going back and forth on is Hayden Hawks at Canyons, because that was his comeback race. He was just after coming back from a serious injury, a knee operation, and then he comes back and he blitzes it. And everyone was probably thinking that it wasn't going to happen, or maybe he's not the same Hayden that he was. And it's just like he won that, and then he went on and he did so well at CCC, and it's just like you're going, you have to put Hayden in there, But then there's other ones in there, and it's
But
so
you
hard.
can't.
It's
You can't.
yeah,
How? That's a great story. There's great. There's
yeah, but
theater about that.
it's trail performance of the year. That's performance of the year. It doesn't get any better than that. That's drama. That's performance. That's excitement. That's everything.
So you're saying that drama and excitement is part of your criteria because it's not on the Freetrail website. That's not how. That's not how they're giving us guidelines on how we should vote.
Yeah,
And I'm
true. Yeah,
telling you these are the things that are important to me whenever I'm casting my votes. But you want to have it. You want to be able to pick on vibes.
yeah. Of course I do. And also like then you have like Elisine to finish at Mammoth. Like just for sheer excitement, again, excitement, performance, style, fucking everything. You know
That
what I mean? Elbows, everything. Like that's gotta be in the top five. That's gotta be close to the win, man. And
that's
I know you can talk about records and you can talk about this. I know well that you'll have one man's name very high up in your list, right? Probably at the top. And that's not done on yeah, okay, you're bringing in, oh yeah, it may have been a course record, but you're bringing in the drama of it being Killian ripping it up against the Kenyans, against the Africans, ripping it up, getting a course record at an age of whatever he is. He's like what, 40 now or 40? You
He's
tell
not
me.
40. He's not 40 yet. He's 37 or something. It's
37. So
ridiculous.
yes, like, but people are saying he's done and he's finished. You know what I mean? And oh, maybe he's, and then he goes and does that. So you're picking that on more than just your criteria. You're picking that on love, on passion, on drama, on excitement, on all that.
I,
Yeah.
I picked Killian, and he wasn't at the top of my list initially, but I moved him to the top of the list because how many times has he won that race? And this is the hardest the biggest challenge he's had. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was like so it's definitely in there. But that's a great point what you said about the finish at Mammoth because that was a great race. The coverage was great. It was good to follow. There was loads of drama. Yes, all of that, but it's not a prestigious race.
Yeah, but it's a prestigious series. So it's a prestigious series. It's a World Golden Trail Series race. You know, it's the Golden Trail Series race. So that's prestigious. So every race within in that to get to the final is prestigious. I think it is.
No,
No?
no. The original premise behind the Golden Trail series was that it was the most prestigious races, but as the series has evolved and we've had races come in and join that aren't prestigious. So that's purchased prestige. That's we bought the branding
Yeah.
to add prestige to our race, not we're this race that's 40 years old and we're coming into your series to add prestige to it. So they're coming Mammoth's coming in from the other side. It's not to discredit them, but it's only a few years old. I'm just saying it's not got the prestige of a Sears and Al, so I can't include that in my list of performances of the year.
Yeah, I don't know. Like performance of the year. It's performance of the year. Like it doesn't get like that's what I'm talking about. Performance, grit, passion, everything. The elbows at the end, like that's
What
performance. That's
about the
performance.
depth at Sears and Al compared to Mammoth?
Look, believe me, I'm not saying that I picked one over the other, but I'm glad that we're talking about these races. Like the two of us were both let's call it a long distance ultra runners, and we're talking about two pretty short races. And I think it's more, yeah, prestige, but also a lot of excitement. Very, very close finishes, neck and neck, real racing, and that's hard to beat.
Yeah. And as Pat says in the chat, again, Jasmine, yes, I know, again, you've said it again. Like Jasmine's up there. She's top of the charts. There's no one's beaten that. And what's even more special about that is normally these things weaken through time, and that's way back in at the end of March, and we're still like, no, that's hands down, that was performance of the year on the women's side. But all in all, a great selection of performances. And we can dig into it more on another show, unless you've got any last closing comments on performance of the year.
Katrina at Tour under 80 hours. Again, another fantastic female like performance of the year, you know. So like between Jasmine and her, unfortunately I think Jasmine has to top it because of the prestige of Barkley and the fact that she was the first and only ever lady finisher, you know. So you know, again, drama, excitement, all of that stuff. It's hard to beat Jasmine, you know.
Chrissy, once again in the chat, just trying to make us laugh. Camille isn't a trail runner. We'll leave it at that. Doesn't she excludes herself? Look, guys, we're coming to the end. One more thing that we need to just share with the audience. And Trail Talk, we're doing a December Christmas giveaway this month. And we're going to be putting out a post about it this week with all the usual things to get it shared and get the prizes allocated. But what's really interesting is we're not giving away one thing. Ricky, I can't even count the amount of things we're giving away, but I can tell you how many brands are involved. And actually, I'll just read out some of the brands. So we have prizes from Hoka, Chorus, Nightcore, Torque, Rudy Project are in with sunglasses, compressed sport, sealskin, the fade. We're giving away shitloads of stuff. You don't have to do anything special for it. We can get this stuff for free. We're going to give it to you for free. So watch the space this coming week. We're going to post about the giveaway, and yeah, share it with your mates, tag your friends, and get the word out there, because that's what we're trying to do. And closing comment, Ricky, good luck in the States lottery
Yeah,
tomorrow.
yeah. My God, I almost forgot because we were talking about that for so long. I almost forgot that Western States Lottery is tomorrow. I think I have 8 tickets. 8 tickets has got to do it, right? 8 tickets. I've got to get in. I've got to get in. And I've got to get in while I've got little fast legs at the minute. I don't want to be 65 years of age and get in. I want to get in now.
Ricky, I'm going to bed tonight, and for the first time in 40 years, I'm going to get down beside the bed and I'm going to say a wee prayer, because I want to be tying that ice bandana around your neck next July, or next June, sorry.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.